this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor. It's not the regular Mjolnir. It's the cracked Mjolnir from Love and Thunder. But I still love it because it still is Mjolnir. I still love Mjolnir. One of my favorite weapons of all Marvel heroes. And I feel like that's just with anybody. Thor's hammer is just so iconic and amazing. And I absolutely love it. And I like this one because it stays stationary. And it just kind of like pulses with power, which I really like. It's really cool. I like that you can see it through the cracks. Anyways, you guys voted on this. I at least had 10 votes or more on that poll that I had went ahead and set out. And I had said choose between Thor from Thor the Dark World, the first suit Mark 1 of Iron Man. There was also, I'm trying to think, Indiana Jones from the Temple of Doom. And there was the option of doing a live and opening them all together. You guys chose 40%, the majority, for Thor the Dark World, the Infinity Saga Marvel Legends series action figure. And so here we are. We will be doing this unboxing. I am super excited, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. For majority of you guys voted for this. So here we go. Let's get right into this unboxing. And there he is, everybody. Thor from Thor the Dark World. This is the Marvel Legends action figure from the Marvel Legends series figures. He looks very, very nice and detailed. Going off of first impressions, first things I'm seeing from him, he has amazing detail, very, very detailed armor, all the way down to the scales on his arms. The coloring is nice, bright, and vibrant, but at the same time, where it needs to be dull and silverish, it is perfectly there. The bronze plates and accents on the front of his chest plates, all the way down to his abdomen and even on his boots, I feel like fit really well to a very regal look for Thor, which is kind of the look that he had for the Dark World, a very regal look, more of like a royalty look. Having that little bit of bronze meshed in with that silver and that like steel look, also addressed with this beautiful bright royal red that is obviously seen on his arm guards there and on his cape. I feel like it all meshed together very, very well. Even having a little bit of this royal deep blue hinted here and there around the little skirt area of his suit. I feel like at the end of the day, some of the other odd colors are not too much. They're hinted just enough to show you his royalty, his regalness as a prince of Asgard. And I think it just makes his character look amazing. I love the design. I love the design that was in the movie, the design they picked for Thor. I really do like this suit. Is it my absolute favorite of Thor's? No, absolutely not. In fact, probably one of the lower ones. But that's something to say for the MCU and for everybody making Thor's designs. For him to have this being one of his lower looks is actually really, really good. That means all of his other looks that are far higher than his here are absolutely amazing. I mean, Thor has always hit it out of the park with the way that he looks. He has always had gorgeous armor with amazing plating, amazing color scheme. There's not been many Thor outfits that I did not like. I mean, every single Thor outfit I absolutely loved. The only ones I think that are really down there would probably be, Fat Thor. I'm not too big on having Marvel's Thor being a fat, realistic Thor, kind of like the, according to the lore, Thor is supposed to be a little bit bigger, heavier set. But for Marvel, I think he needs to be more muscular. He needs to be more, muscly looking. He needs to look like what we would picture a superhero. Because at the end of the day, that's what Thor and Marvel is a superhero. But with all of that being said, let's get back into actually talking about things that I am noticing about this figure. First thing I noticed when taking things out of the package is his hammer. Now, if you could see right here, let me focus it in. There is this weird little dent in the hammer, and I have no clue what that dent is for. It serves absolutely no purpose. There is no type of peg or anything that it goes into. There is not any form of cracks on the hammer to try to make it look like it is a battle-damaged hammer. In the movie, there is no form of damage brought onto the hammer in any way, shape, or form. Obviously, the only time that the hammer Mjolnir ever takes damage is inside of Thor Ragnarok when Hela destroys it. So this was not intended. This was a mistake, whether it be through manufacturing, the way it was made, whether it was damaged while it was being packaged, whatever the case may be. I think it's a manufacturing problem from the way it looks. It looks like it was molded in as a problem, not like it was actually chipped or scraped. But that is a problem. That is a defect. I don't know if this is something that normally happens. There's even like a little crease here. You can kind of see where it kind of like was molded inward, which also isn't very good. So the hammer does not hold up to the standards that I would like it to. I am assuming that that is simply a defect. I don't know how prominent or common that is with this specific Thor figure or with the Thor figures in general. But that is going to deduct points at the end of the day. It is unfortunate, but it has to be done. I cannot base what I got off of all the other ones around. I'm basing my scaling off of the one I have, and unfortunately that is going to be a point deducted, especially because it is a very big, heavy part of this figure. Thor's hammer is one of the most important parts of his figure because Thor is mostly known for his hammer. So when his hammer has a defect, it is a very big deal. And that kind of is a big deal. It is very prominent. You can see it even down here. It is a very black, dark spot, and it is very noticeable, which is highly unfortunate. I am going to have to cover that up in some form of way when I have him posed up. Anyways, going on with what I'm seeing here, his joints are very stiff. That is another thing that I noticed. With Marvel Legends, sometimes their joints are very stiff, but with this figure, it is very, very stiff. His articulation is not the best. You kind of have to break his joints in. He has a lot of different rotations and a lot of different joints. He doesn't have any form of ab crunch, but he does have a rotating torso there. You can kind of see it. You can actually hear it click. Don't know if that's on purpose, if it's meant to click. I don't think it is because it's supposed to be on a bulb. It's not supposed to be any type of crunch. So there's that. This kind of moves up and down to allow you to move him. His flexibility is not very good. That's about as far of splits as he can do. Actually, the joints on his knees are bending. They are very, very fragile, which is not good at all. Not very good at all. His hands also seem to be some form of like lightning hands or conjuring hands. They don't really fit Thor. I don't know if you guys agree with me on that. I feel like these hands, I also noticed, don't fit Thor very well. Thor only uses his hands like this in times like Thor Ragnarok when he does not have his hammer and he's actually shooting electricity out of his hands. Other than that, there's not many other times where Thor has his hands open like that in that weird clawed, mystical state. It kind of gives me like Doctor Strange vibes, like when he's like trying to conjure spells and stuff. It doesn't really give me a Thor vibe. I mean, I posed it this way because that's the vibe the hands were giving me, is like him conjuring lightning. But we don't really see Thor do that often, especially in this movie in particular. He uses his hammer 9 times out of 10. He doesn't really use his hands much for lightning effects and stuff like that. He hasn't learned that he is not the god of hammers, that he is the god of thunder, as his father tells him in the next movie after this. So the hands don't really fit this figure. That is another thing that I've noted. Adding with the bad articulation and the very stiff joints and weak joints that are bending a whole lot, adding the defect on the hammer, that is deducting 3 solid points from this figure very, very quickly. The only thing that so far I am noticing about this figure that I really like is the face sculpt is absolutely amazing. It looks like Chris Hemsworth. It looks like Thor. It is very good. I love his hair. I love that it's rubbery and you can move it around. But it also stays in place enough to where it kind of keeps that Chris Hemsworth hair. It keeps it nice and gives it a good Thor vibe. It looks like Thor's hair. It looks good. And it matches his skin tone and his beard. It matches it all very well. It meshes together. Like I said, the tones and the coloring of this figure are perfect. They match very, very well with what they need to. Go ahead and give you guys a little 360 so you can see him. His cape is really good. Obviously, it's not very flowy. It's plastic. It stays the way that it is, which is to be expected from Marvel Legends. Also, his posability is not very good. He cannot stand very well on his own. You have to use the cape to hold him up, which isn't a big deal because his cape reaches down all the way to his heels, but it is something that I wish was not a problem. That is unfortunately another point that's going to be deducted. So we are now at 4 points being deducted, leaving this figure so far at a 6. Now we're going to move on to accessories. As you can see here, it comes with another head and another set of hands. The other set of hands are grasping hands for the hammer. So either hand can go ahead and hold the hammer. And you also have a smiling Thor face because this is the beginning of Thor being a little bit more comedic. It's still a serious Thor movie. The only time we fully go straight diving into a comedic Thor is Thor Ragnarok, and then that continues on from that point as a more comedic Thor. This movie still had some very serious Thor, darker tones. That slowly gets away from the MCU as the next movies start. So, him having a smiling face, I actually do like. It is pretty cool that they added that, even though it's kind of a more serious and darker tone Thor. I'm surprised that they didn't put like a yelling face or an angry face. They put his stoic face and a smiling face, which actually is not bad. So he doesn't come with a whole lot of accessories. You know, he comes with an extra head, and he comes with another set of hands for grasping, and he comes with a hammer. But like I said, those hands don't really match him. And the fact that there's only 2 sets of hands, and one of the hands does not really match him very well. Not to mention, if they're supposed to be lightning conjuring hands, he does not come with any lightning. He doesn't come with any type of electrical abilities, especially because he is a god of thunder and lightning. You would expect him to have some type of lightning. And if you say, well, no. Actually, I do have another Thor from Marvel Legends, and he does have lightning. So yes, they very much could have added lightning to this Thor. It is very possible. They've done it before. They should have done it with this figure, especially if you're going to give him those type of hands. So that is another point deducted from this Thor, unfortunately. It may look good, but at the end of the day, the quality from everything that I've been able to see and be able to kind of, look around and investigate through, it's slowly becoming less and less promising of a figure. Let's go ahead and move over to some pictures to show you how you can pose him. And I will let you know how easy it was to pose him, how well he is to pose, and then we will come to a final verdict on this figure.
Take to the field, like with swords held high and shields to wield in the name of the gods.
And yeah, as you guys got to see, you got to see the comparison between other figures that I have, size comparisons and just quality comparisons. He does look very good, but when it comes to posing, doing all those other things, unfortunately, he lacks. His posing was actually very, very, very difficult. He is very restricted in his ability to pose. He doesn't have a whole lot to pose with. His smiling face does not really work well with the hands that are given, especially these like weird lightning conjuring hands. They don't really work well with his smiling. I've got him smiling right here, and it's just like, it's just weird. it's a weird combination of hands. The hands are really throwing me off. The defect on the hammer, the weakness of the joints, the very strict amount of articulation that this figure has, the lack of any type of lightning abilities or any type of lightning effects, you know, the fact that at the end of the day, there's just so many things I could go down the line talking about. He lacks many different things. I had went ahead and told you how many points he had lost, all the way down to 5. His posing was so difficult and strict that I'm deducting it even another point. And I hate to say that. The only reason he is at 4 points, the only reason I am ranking him, and this is my official ranking, he is a 4 out of 10. The only reason that he is a 4 out of 10 is because, number one, he's Thor. I love Thor. I love the design, and he is very detailed. And the color scheme is amazing. Those are the reasons in which why I am going ahead and rating him a 4. Other than that, all of those other reasons are why he is as low as he is. Not great posability, not very flexible, has weak joints, has a defective hammer, has weird conjuring hands for lightning that don't really fit his smiling face, his smiling head at all. And his other head neither. It just doesn't fit his character at all unless he had lightning, but he doesn't have lightning effects. So at the end of the day, that's 6 things that are wrong with this figure. 6 reasons not to get this figure. And there are many Thor figures out there, especially comic Thor figures out there. There are many. You guys actually just saw one, Cosmic Thor. That is an amazing Thor figure. I love that Thor figure. I would definitely recommend getting a figure like that over a figure like this. If you want an MCU Thor, I suggest getting another figure, because this figure will not meet what you are expecting or looking for, I bet you. If you're looking for a cheap option just to put up somewhere so that it looks cool, I would do this. That would be great for you. If you're somebody that doesn't pose figures around all the time, obviously with me being a YouTuber, me doing this type of stuff all the time, I pose these figures. I do all types of different trends with these figures where I take pictures of them, pose them. When I do other unboxings and I want to use another figure like him because I feel like he fits the same criteria or theme as the figure I'm unboxing, I might use him to go ahead and pose with. And with how hard of a posable figure he is, it kind of makes him, makes me not want to use him. Makes him undesirable as a figure to have in my collection. Like I said, if you paid attention to some of my other videos and the poll, this is one of the figures I got for Christmas. So I did not actually spend any money on this. This was a gift given to me. I love Thor. I love this as a gift, but as being somebody who's going to rate the figure, unbox and review the figure, I must be honest, and I will be honest, and that is my honest review. This is a 4 out of 10 for the Marvel Legends Thor from Thor the Dark World. This is from the Infinity Saga Marvel Legends series collection, and if it was me, I would tell you not to spend money on this. If somebody's just gifting it to you, obviously, woo, bring it on. That's how I feel right now. I didn't pay no money for it. It's another cool addition. It's just another one that I have. I do like it. I think it looks good. Like I said, the design and the details are absolutely amazing, and it looks just like Chris Hemsworth. It's just all those other problems that I've added on to that. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed my review and unboxing of this, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you all thought. And as always, I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.